Welcome everybody. How are you doing today? It's so very nice to have you here. I hope that everybody is doing well. And I wanted to speak today a little bit about our upcoming 3-week program, the program that starts on the 6th of March, Kindness, Devotion and Awakening, and living in presence versus living in the patterns of the past. We all know the suffering that comes from living in the patterns of the past. And as I am sitting with you in programs, and especially in private sessions, where we get to speak more in detail about what's happening for you and the challenges that you experience, what I'm noticing is that it's not always easy to translate what we know about presence or what we know from resting in presence into our moment-by-moment experience when patterns of the past are here. And when I say that, I really don't mean it as a judgment, because it happens to all of us. That happens to me also. And we just want to be able to look a little closer at why is that? Why is it not easy to translate what we know is true at so many moments, at so many times? And then when patterns of the past are here, why is it so much harder to remember that, practically remember that? And there are many, many things I could say about this. And of course, we will be speaking more about this in the program and about other things as well. But there are two main issues here. One is the ability to recognize the particular tendencies as they manifest as thoughts, feelings, sensation, emotion. And that means there's certain particular ways that the patterns express themselves, and these ways are repeating themselves over and over and over and over again. These are certain particular kinds of thoughts or certain particular conclusions we come to about our life, about life in general, about the world, about our experience. There are certain particular, oftentimes negative ways of viewing what is present. There are certain particular emotions that accompany that. So often, the core of it is some form of wrongness. And remember, I have said that so many times, and of course that in moments of presence, that there really isn't anything wrong, that everything is okay just the way it is. And yet, from our past, from our conditioning, we so often experience, oh, there is something wrong. We are doing something wrong, or it's something wrong in the way things are happening, or whatever is arising, there's something wrong, or what's going on in the world. And so this is the number one important part, to be able to start to recognize these tendencies as they arise. When you see the same trains of thoughts coming over and over and over and over again, when you see yourself sliding in a familiar ways of thinking about you, about your experience, about what's going on in the world, that is going to be your cue, that is going to be your signal that patterns of the past are present. So that's really important, because that's discrimination, right? Without discrimination, it's very, very hard. But there's another part that is even more important, and that is recognizing and accepting what is present in a moment. That's what I call kindness. That's what I call tenderness. That's what I call the ability to notice, recognize, and be present to what is actually present in a moment. This whole structure of ego or superego or both, right? It's really based so much on not acceptance of what is. And this is really the core of patterns also. if we speak about patterns, the really the core, the ground of a pattern is non-acceptance of what is. And this non-acceptance has been passed on generation upon generation for so long. This is not just your individual conditioning, it's not just the patterns of the past that already brought you here into this life, but this is also collective, and this is also ancestral. These are all lines of conditioning, that are being repeated over and over and over and over again, where there's a basic misunderstanding and, an idea that something has to be different than the way it is, that the way you are is not okay, that the way your experience is arising right now is not okay, that the way you or your nervous system responds to the arising experience, that's not okay, that what is in a broader sense, that what is going on in the world, I don't want to go into that right now too much, but that what is going on in the world is not okay. And you see that misconception, that idea, that insistence, that inner insistence that your experience, others, the world has to be different than it is, that it's just not okay, that the simplicity of what is, which sometimes it's challenging, sometimes it means not feeling well, sometimes it means feeling tired, sometimes it means feeling disappointed or discouraged, or sometimes things are difficult, and sometimes they are really good also, right? Feeling really well and feeling really elated and feeling really happy, but that fundamental not acceptance of what is. And what I find sometimes as I'm sitting with you is that, we haven't heard enough that we are okay just the way we are. We haven't heard enough that what is here, what the experience, the way it is happening right now, that is actually okay just the way it is. And that is such a key, you see, because that's in those times of when patterns are present, that's how we drop out of the mind. That's how we drop out of the, sense of I, or the I, or the ego, the super ego. It's a sense of striving, of wanting for things to be different. We drop out of that and we drop into the reality of our experience, the way it's happening right now. It's not always easy, but in it there is the spaciousness of our true nature. And in it, there is also the knowing that everything is okay just the way it is. And, and by doing so, we are not just repeating the patterns, which repetition makes them stronger. We are not just, trying over and over and over again, running the same route, mentally, physically, emotionally, and physiologically, brain, nervous system also. We are not just running the same route, but we are finding this not always, easy, but we are finding that ground in presence where we know, even when things are challenging, even when it's not easy to always be here, that it is okay just the way it is. So I want to speak a lot more about this as we get together for this 3-week program, and I really hope you can register for all 3 weeks and that we can get a little more in depth on this. And there will be, of course, many other topics also. You can reach in your emails or on my website all the different areas of interest that we'll be speaking about. And I'm very much looking forward to that because, this is really the key to our ability to do it on our own. Growing in acceptance, growing in kindness, growing in devotion to truth, where, devotion to truth is not an abstract concept, but it is a moment by moment willingness to be here, to just say, okay, let me just be here. Let me just see what happens, right? So I'm very much looking forward to our time together. If you are enjoying these videos, please like us, subscribe, visit our website so that more people can hear this, that more people can share in this. And I am very much looking forward to our time together.